how it helps. What is the role of surgery? It reduces the pain. It enhances the spontaneous pregnancy because TO relationship is restored. There is the environment, peritoneal environment is now restored. There are chances over a period of 2 to 3 months, 4 months, the oocyte quality is going to improve. So it enhances the chances of spontaneous pregnancy. Apart from that, it downgrades the lesion. Suppose you have taken care of the peritoneal disease. Now the endometriosis becomes grade mild one, minimal or mild endometriosis. It behaves behavior of treated endometriosis is like a grade 1 endometriosis. So it is more amenable to IUI. So this is how it helps. And lastly, when you are doing IVF, it facilitates the OM pickup because improvise TO relationship and it enhance the success rate because improvising in the quality and peritoneal environment. Of course, peritoneal environment is not too important in IVF, but still it plays the role. Now, what is the place of IUI in endometriosis? Dr. Ekika is asking when to check AMH after surgery. Dr. Ekika, please hold for some time. We'll come to that little later. So, what is a place of IUI in endometriosis? If there is a mild endometriosis, normally we treat it as unexplained fertility. So, definitely there is a role of IUI. That's the first line of treatment in mild endometriosis. When there is a surgically corrected pelvic lesions and restoration of the TO relationship, and when you're sure about the functionality of the tubes, functional, anatomical, and functional patency of the tube, then there is a definite role of IUI, and that gives the best result. So IUI basically has got place in mild endometriosis and treated, perfectly treated mild to moderate endometriosis. And which drugs are best? The gonadotropin gives the best result. Little inferior to that is CC with IUI. Little inferior to that only IU and IUI. This is in comparison with no drug. But you must not forget that the overall endometriosis has decreased per cycle conception rate compared to a male factor and unexplained fertility, and the results plateau after 3 to 4 cycles. So timely decision for IVF should be considered. IUI is a good treatment, but it is not as good as other factors, which is there, I mean, compared to other factors in endometriosis, but still it is effective. Then what is a role of aromatase inhibitor? Because it has been noted that there is a high level of aromatase P450 enzyme expression in endometrial tissue and ectopic endometrial implants, which leads to excessive local production of E2. And because of that, there is a lot of inflammation and proliferation of the implant. So somebody suggested, like Miller said, it might improve IVF success by improving the endometrial receptivity, probably because ultimately endometrial receptivity is also balance between E2 and progesterone, estrogen progesterone ratio, and estrogen exposure. If it is underexposed or overexposed, it hampers the endometrial receptivity. So it might probably improve the IVF success. But Abu Hasim said no difference between AI and CCE in stage 1 and 2. So it's your choice. Logically, I believe in aromatase enzyme because because I know basically there is a maybe a high level of aromatase enzyme expression. So it might help. It might help. It might not help, but it might help. So my preference is always a letrozole. So now, coming to what are the indications of IVF in endometriosis in general. So first is diminished ovarian reserve. So if the ovarian reserve is diminished, endometriosis progressive disease going to affect progressively oocyte quality, embryo quality. Why to wait? So if diminished ovarian reserve is there, straight away should go for IVF. If the female age is more than 37, when the qualitative and quantitative decline is always there, you must go for IVF. If the infertility duration is more than 5 years, means enough trial has been given to conceive her spontaneously. As if she is not able to conceive, you should go for IVF. Treated endometriosis, you have tried control ovarian stimulation with IUI, couple of cycle, 4 to 5 cycle, still she has not conceived, go for IVF. If there is a recurrent endometrioma, big no to the surgery because it reduces the reserve tremendously. If there is a bilateral endometrioma, it's the same thing. Bilateral endometrioma, if you treat bilateral endometrioma surgically, there's a tremendous reduction in the ovarian reserve. So better to go for IVF because we all know, and then we'll be discussing little later, that in presence of endometrioma, whether you go for IVF straightforward or whether you first operate and remove endometrioma and then go for IVF, there is hardly any difference in the result. Probably results are worse in operated cases as far as the IVF is concerned. When there is adenomyosis along with the endometriosis, especially large adenomyoma, and there is subendometrial zone involvement, then better to go for IVF. And of course, tubal factor and male factors are there, then you have no choice but you have to go for IVF. So these were the indications of IVF in endometriosis. Now the question comes whether to, when operation is needed, whether to operate first or first do IVF. For some reason, if the operation is needed because of the painful lesion, for example, then what are the risks involved if you go for surgery prior to IVF? The main risk involved is the compromise ovarian reserve, and there is a risk of premature ovarian failure. That's the first fear in going for surgery before IVF, and probably surgical complication, cost, surgical skill, and incomplete surgery and recurrence. All those factors are definitely there, but the main concern is the diminished ovarian reserve. Now, suppose if you go for IVF before surgery, then what are the fear in your mind? The one fear is a progression of the disease, which is not clearly proven. So let us keep it that on hold. It increases the inflammatory reaction, oxidative stress. The oocyte retrieval may itself be difficult, and there are all the chances of cycle cancellation because there is no recruitment of the follicle or least recruitment of the follicle because of the mechanical mechanical compression of the ovarian endometrioma and etc. The follicular fluid contamination with the oocyte, which can hamper the result. Endometrioma infection is a real concern. By chance, accidentally, if you pierce, then there can be endometrioma abscess. The undiagnosed occult malignancy. So you have to always keep check on rapidly progressively enlargement of the endometrioma, in the appearance of the vascularity in the endometrioma. Those are the findings which can create doubt about the occult malignancy. And there is a risk of rupture with the subsequent chemical peritonitis and certain pregnancy-related complication. Because once the pregnancy happens, and if the endometrioma is not treated, it causes a decidualization of the endometrial implants, and which itself is troublesome. We are going to discuss later. So Dr. Kasturi is asking, stage 3, 4 with a disturbed anatomy is also a indication for IVF. Yes, whenever tubal factor, functionally or anatomically, if the tubes are distorted, it's indication for IVF. if the tubes are absolutely fine, suppose you are suspecting, Dr. Kasturi, I'm